Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nato and Samantha Perry with you on what is the Saturday before the Curlin Florida Derby. We'll draw that a little bit later this afternoon. Happy to have you aboard. 11 race Saturday card. Unfortunately, the rains have not let up since yesterday, if you were with us. So we are sloppy and sealed on the main track and, of course, off the turf as well. It is what it is, unfortunate.
It is, but we've got a lot of good news to that. One is the Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
And today is a day that you could pop this.
You know what? There's a lot of difficult races later in the sequence. There's a lot of races with very tepid, at least on paper, favorites. And I agree with you. It could get really juicy later on. And you can see that estimated pool is $650,000. Looking forward to that a little bit later on. We'll draw the Curlin Florida Derby Day card in its entirety today. Those past performances will be out later tonight. A 14-race extravaganza. Yeah, to close it down. We're going to have 10 stakes races next Saturday, 6 of them graded. Plenty of time to talk about that throughout the day, and that field will come front and center a little bit later on. We'll have the draw here, right here on the simulcast for you and on the website and all that kind of good stuff. There you can see the tickets. Never too late to get your tickets, or never too early, I should say, because that's going to be a very popular day here at Gulfstream Park. We're looking forward to that, but we're also looking forward to the early Pick 5, which kicks off here in about 52 minutes to post. And let's take a look at my ticket now. Not a lot of reworking early. That's the good thing. The majority of these races, as they tend to do when we were off the turf and onto the Tapeta, they held together quite nicely. So we'll go 4 deep here in the opener. In race number 2, my top pick is the 3, and that is Highland Peak at a price for Tom Proctor with the Glen Hill Homebred. In race number 3, the top pick is the 4, Detroit City is a single for me, getting back to the Gulfstream Tapeta. In race number 4, the 7, Reza Rolex on the cutback. I think that's big for this horse today for Joe Orsino. Of course, is going to saddle Hades in the Curlin Florida Derby for DJ Stable and Company. And in race number 5, XY Face for Amador Sanchez, who got a win just yesterday. So we'll go right back with him there on a $48 early Pick 5 ticket, a strong favorite here in the opener. I didn't really necessarily see it at 4-5 in the opener, but in this mile and 70, $10,000 claimer here on the Tapeta. These are fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. And Samantha's going a little different direction. I've got the 2. It was shocking to me, Samantha, on the drop last time that Busy Moline just was not bet at all, and she kind of ran that way.
Yeah, I get that a little bit. I picked her last time too, and I just felt like this was a time that it was only her second start last out on the Tapeta. I think she can move forward now. And now when you're in the barn of Carlos David, that's a lot. That's sharp. And we mentioned this and we talk about it a lot. The inside speed on the Tapeta, especially when we get these rainstorms, is where you want to be. Now it changes very frequently. Right. We'll check it out. But I would say for the first race, I'm sitting in an okay spot.
Yeah, I don't disagree with it at all. You're going to be in front from the inside. The question is how much pace pressure do we face from the out there? Nothing but pumps. Maybe could be a little against it with the way the track is going, but again, we got to watch it today. Plenty of Tapeta races to figure it all out. Came from off the pace last time. 5 for 6 in the exacta on the Tapeta, including 3 wins. So I think that bodes well, and we get some consistent form now. Race number 2, we are off the turf again, off the turf all day, unfortunately, and this is a maiden special weight for the 3-year-olds. We'll go a mile in the 16th on the Tapeta here. It's the early Pick 4. We'll just, my ticket's a run back. I'll have it tweeted out a little bit later on, but we'll take a look at your top pick now is the 7, Roughshod, trying the Tapeta for the first time for Todd Pletcher.
So I did a little bit of changing around in this off-the-grass race here. I originally had this horse like 5th, but I like the speed this horse brings to the table, and now that we're on the Tapeta, this should help. And he's got the 2-turn experience in both of his starts.
Yeah, I would think my horse is going to be part of the picture early on as well. Highland Peak basically was pushed extremely wide into the first turn last time on debut. They bet him a little bit, not a lot. Son of Arrogate for Glen Hill, a homebred here. Now we're going to try the Tapeta. It's obviously an unknown, but a lot of them are kind of going through that as well. Let's take a look at the favorite. This is Captain Bob's B29. Boy, did he have a trip last time off the long layoff while trialing turf, too.
Yeah, this was a horse that looked incredible coming into this race here, and it was not a good trip.
No, he's going to come into your picture now. You can see Isidoro actually ran 4th in this race. Now he's rolling up here. I thought he was going outside, but he opted to stay inside,
here.
and this is what happened.
Yeah, and this was only his second start too, so that's not the easiest thing to do. And then you get tight right here,
there it is,
and boom,
Oof.
yeah, it just wasn't good for anybody. The 9 was kind of the cause of that, I felt like, and at 30-1, that horse didn't get the best of it at all.
No.
CB Bob's 29 has got to be closer this time. Good news is we got Paco aboard.
We got Paco. We got an outside draw, so he's going to have to go a little bit. A $7,000 purchase. Looks like Todd Pletcher, the Hall of Famer, is going to, of course, bring the 2-year-old champion Fierceness into the Curlin Florida Derby.
Yeah.
Looks like he's got a bargain here. So we'll see. But the post is not ideal. The post is not as bad as it was on turf. I will say
agree,
that. And I think
completely.
that's noteworthy today in some of these other races as well. Race 3, we're going 5 furlongs on the Tapeta in here. These are 4-year-olds and up, which have never won 3 or a race since September 23rd. And you are on the 2 highly flammable. Off the claim for Laura Cesaris on a drop.
Yep, and I like the off the claim move.
Right.
This is a barn that took the finale yesterday with Bella Future. Yes.
Yeah.
Just not a lot of wins on the championship meet, but she doesn't start a lot of horses
Right.
just in general. And this was a smart claim here, and you're just going to bring the horse back for the $35,000 level. They took the horse for $25,000, so I think this horse on the Tapeta should be pretty tough.
You know, that's the thing here. They took this horse for a quarter because he was entered for a quarter in one of those optional claimers.
Right.
So this is a big class drop.
Yeah.
But it's not the negative because he's actually in above the claim price. So
Yeah.
there's things to like here. Detroit City back on the Gulfstream Tapeta where he's run 2 huge numbers, I think is got to be the horse to beat in here.
Yeah, and against some strong horses,
Yeah.
too. Him and Uncle B are kind of doing the same thing here,
Right.
and this is just a huge class relief.
Right. Let's take a look at a stat here for Mike Maker as well. And I think, Detroit City, winner last out Tapeta Sprints 4 for 10. So we'll see what we get today. I think Detroit City back on a preferred surface, I think, is a major player in here.
Definitely.
Let's go to race number 4 now. We're on the Tapeta at 5.5 furlongs. It's a starter optional claimer, 3-year-olds in here. We've got a clean field of 7. We're both on the same horse for probably the same reason. There is so much speed in here, and he's going to bring the foundation of those 2-turn races under a perfect post with Paco Lopez, too.
You said it.
Yeah.
This is just such a perfect post for this horse here. Was in against State Breds last time, but that doesn't worry me too much because it's just one of those races that sometimes you see this a lot with the Tapeta. The horses
Right.
cycle back and forth, and I feel like this is a horse on a cycle forward. The only 2-time winner in the field as well.
No, I think that's very important, too, and Joe Orsino made a good claim here, and I think he's going to be in a really, really good spot in here. The 3 for you, Bingo was his name. Somebody's going to have to hope they're the speed of the speed or they can stick around, but because, boy, they're going to be hitting him here early.
Yeah, they will. This horse is going to have a lot of company on the front end, I would think, but I feel like out of the speed, he might be the fastest one, but he's going to get fried probably.
Yeah, Group Ticket's got a little rating gear as well. I think he's a big player. Guys, do me a favor. Bring the stat back up because I jumped the gun. The stat is right here in race 4, and that's my fault. So here's Mike Maker in this spot here. When he wins last out on Tapeta sprinting, he doubles up at 40% of the time. So Weekend Concerto, another horse that's got to go from down there while facing winners, but you've got a nice, pretty good stat in your favor if you're trying to get him to double up. Let's go one more before the break here. Race number 5, we go $170 on the Tapeta. These are 12-5 maiden claimers in this field of 9. The 10, the outside horse, Rebel Jackson, is out of this, and we are all over the place here. I like it. TB12 always, he's the last horse I knocked off my early pick 5 and early pick 4. I wanted to go 5. Well, I know. I wanted to go 5 deep. It was a little too expensive. You take it away with him.
I didn't have this horse at all originally, but with the weather conditions this morning, I was looking it back over again. Now I feel like this horse has a very good shot. Julie Stormfeld, she's been racking up some wins as of late here. This horse got 2 good rides the last 2 starts when they stretched this horse out under David Egan. Now we have Edwin Gonzalez aboard, who we say it a lot, Brian, but he stays here throughout the summertime. And he knows we've got a lot of Tapeta races. He knows how to ride it very well.
Edmund rides a Tapeta as good as anybody. Villalobos on the 2 Flashover, who's got a lot of long shot speed. I would think he probably goes, and maybe you can just sit right off of him a little bit. I'm on the 4 XY Face for Amador Sanchez. First time in the barn. Lasix, maiden special weight drop. I think there's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
First time Tapeta, too.
Yeah, I originally had this horse on top, so maybe that means this horse will win. But, yeah, first time Lasix, and such a huge drop.
You don't have Titan. I don't think he's letting anybody get away on the stretch out.
No.
And he's never routed on Tapeta for a tag. I think that's important. Will of a Warrior better break today. I don't know what to make him. He was Chad Brown on debut on the turf, 20-1.
Yeah, and this horse closed. I will give this horse that. He closed, but obviously this is a huge for sale sign.
Yeah, blinkers go on today. The winner did come back and win. Those are positives.
Yeah.
But you could probably count on one hand, maybe 2, the time Chad's 20-1 on debut. So, and now we're at the bottom today, so the old tread a little bit lightly there. So we got 5 down. That's 6 to go on the 11-race Saturday card. When we come back, it's Ron with the Rainbow 6 ticket, and there's $650,000 in the estimated jackpot. Stay tuned.
And they're off.
New DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access past performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
And welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian and Samantha with you on an 11-race Saturday card. As we mentioned before the break, $650,000 in the Rainbow, and that's also Curlin Florida Derby Day draw. We're going to have that for you coming up shortly in between races 2 and 3. We're going to draw the card in its entirety as well, and it's we're going to end this championship meet obviously next Sunday, but we're going to culminate it with a bang on Saturday. 14 races, 10 of them stakes, 6 of them graded. Of course, the $1 million Grade 1 Curlin Florida Derby that sent Mage on to Kentucky last year to win the Run for the Roses. So front and center right here at Gulfstream Park. But let's get into this Rainbow now. And as I mentioned, Ronnie will be out here with me for the opener here. It kicks off in race number 6. Now we are off the turf today. Take note of that. And the Texas Glitter, unfortunately, the 2 strong, heavy favorites came out of this race.
They did. And Ron Spreading, you see his single there in race 9. That is Pocky. I do like him a lot today, and we'll see Delahaye, who he ran second to in Fairgrounds today, I believe, race 10, I believe. And then you see he's got some coverage in the last leg. I had trouble with the last leg. He's got the 6 Diamond Vega for Chad Brown, first USA start, the 8 Bravo Kitten, Ocean Club, and Canesy on the compact playbook 4320, and we've got the Tropical Tapeta pick 3. I know it is unfortunate that we are off the grass, but if you like somebody, this is a good day to maybe leverage it here. It paid, I think, a little over 120 yesterday, maybe a little bit more than that. But I'm spreading. I don't have a very strong opinion here. In race 9, I do have Pocky on top, as well as I like Grace Starling. And in the 11th race, which is the Problem Child race, I have Ocean Club and Kane Z.
Ocean Club with a 1.5 last time that we will show you in a little bit. And I had her that day, but back to this one here, the Texas Glitter. As I mentioned, 2 very key scratches. Unfortunately, weather, what are we going to do? But No Name Mets is out, as is Bonus Move, which is a little bit later this morning. The 2 huge favorites come out, and now I kind of think we all have, look at this. Everything's the same here. Reef Runner really blew up on turf last time, but has run well on Tapeta, too.
I had this horse. This was my long shot before anything ever happened. I loved this horse today. I have no value on it now, so obviously not a long shot. But I always had this horse on top. The races on the Tapeta were good. The race last time was really a strong effort here. You look at who he was running against, Valiant Force. I did get not the greatest trip on the grass that day, and he was second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. But the way he ran when the rails were out at 80 feet like that, you have to give him some credit. Yeah,
no doubt about it. He was going to be an average shot today, by the way.
Oh, he was? What was he?
4-1.
Hey, that's good enough.
That's good enough. All right. Running Rocket is now, listen, everybody moves up a lot now. The horses that are in, the horses that we have are tried and true and proven on Tapeta. Running Rocket 3 back with a W for Brian Lynch on the Tapeta.
Yep, and that's a good move. And I get why they stretched this horse out last time, too, but now they're just cutting him back, and he's in a good spot, and it helped even more now with scratches. Yeah, you better make sure General Ledger's on your ticket, too, because his Tapeta race 2 back when they bet him absolutely off the board was pretty good. He was never losing that race. No, he wasn't, and it was kind of him and Reef Runner and then everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. Late pick 5 kicks off in race number 7. We are on the Tapeta here, 4 and up, which have never won 3. The tag is $8,000. Big scratch of the 5. Tepu is out, 3-1 on the morning line, so a lot of starch comes out. The 8 Glorious Tribute is out as well. And let's take a look at my partner's late pick 5 ticket before we get into this race.
I've got some coverage here. Race 8, I do have the 8 on top. That is Honesto. Race number 9, I've got the 5 on top. Pocky, Bronze Single. Race 10, the 8, that's Heals the Soul, my best bet of the day here. He had a trip last time. And in race number 11, this was a tough one for me. I do have the 10 on top. That's Keynesy. I added the 15 in solo album, who Joe Bravo's going to ride. We were waiting on a jockey. Of course, we'll remind you when we get to that race, but $24 to play.
Heals the Soul had a lot last time going on.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to that a little bit later on. Let's get back here now, as I mentioned, 1.70 on the Tapeta. And this looked like a spread race to me. You go to the 9 in here, and that is Swath for Marty Drexler.
Another one that I redid this morning, trying to find some speed here. There's not a lot of that in this race at all. And I'm hoping that this is a horse that can be forward and get the job done.
My horse, who's my long shot, and that is Kingdom on Pause, he's got to be in front in here. I didn't play it this way with the rain. I didn't move it. He always was my long shot. We got Jaramillo here. We're dropping in half. A lot of these horses come out of similar races. He should be in front if he breaks, and we'll just go from there.
He should be. I know this horse just so well from Monmouth. Like, this horse would run like every week at Monmouth, honestly.
You know, this is a group that just kind of takes turns beating each other. Mufreef is, now falls into the horse to beat, but boy, he's got no speed at all.
Nope, and that's a problem for him.
Big problem for him. Globes. Okay, Globes is like almost typical of what we're talking about here. Comes in such good form, and then for whatever reason gets beat in a football field last time. I don't know what to make of him.
I don't either, but I just went back to him here hoping he'll get another good race under a belt.
Cycle back around maybe. Late pick 4 in race number 8, run mile and a 16th on the Tapeta today. 4 and up. The tag is 10. Swan Lake is out again. We're not going to see him play this week. He's been scratched a couple times. Let's take a look at my late 4 ticket before we get into this race here. $15 for me. I mentioned my best bet of the day was on turf or Tapeta, and that comes in race 9, 5 Towns. In race number 10, 3 deep, and that is the 8. Heals the Soul, Samantha's best bet of the day, and we'll spread in race 11. I'll come back to Ocean Club, who I played last time, who was, I think, best last time, but is what it is on a $15 late pick 4 ticket. Let's get back to this race now, and, well, I don't know if you picked, you probably did pick Swaggish. Yeah, of course. Now let's show you Swaggish. He was my long shot last time, and there was never any point in this race where I thought he was going to win because he was doing this, and watch what he does at the end.
Yeah, this was really impressive. And then
Yeah.
Swath, that's my pick in the earlier race,
he
too.
buries Swath.
Yeah, he does. This was scary good here. I don't know where this race came from either. He was exiting a tough race before that. He's been trained by a lot of different trainers. He just kicked on again.
This was his first route, and he just looked like a wild horse here. Now he's off to claim for Jose D'Angelo. I did pick him, yeah. That's why I said there was really no point at all. I thought he was going to win when he's dueling like that with a good horse. And he just freaks in here. He is rising out of the restricted 3Ls, a much, much tougher group today. But he's going to go, and Miciel rode him last time. He's right back here. Yeah. The scratch of Swan Lake is not only huge just for anybody's winning chances, it's huge for him as well, because that was the other speed on the inside. I'm on the 4 Bryce Cannon, who absolutely, lays over these on class and on figures. What are you going to get from him? And he probably gets hurt with the lack of speed now.
He does. I almost wonder now, too. He's been getting his head jerked off quite a bit lately, and I worry about his confidence coming into this spot now.
Yeah, if he runs the race 3 back when he was in for a starter optional claimer, he'll lap this field. But Samantha's right. Are we going to be able to get to that after 2 kind of really got thrown to the wolves a little bit, let's be honest, in a couple of those kind of spots. Now we'll go to race number 9 here. Again, unfortunately, off the turf. We'll stretch him out a little bit to $170, a mile 70 on the Tapeta in this optional claimer. Fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. It was a good race, and we scratched the 6. Apropos, there's some bowling upstairs. I'm going to lead it with the video because this is my best bet of the day.
Okay.
5 Towns, as well as Grace Darling is in here too, and Demogorgon. Now Demogorgon is going to get loose in here, and here she was last time, albeit on the turf, but I think it's relevant here. Look at the trip now with 5 Towns, who had a world of run, nowhere really to go. First start in the U.S., first start for Graham Motion. She's mired in traffic here. I'm not going to tell you she was going to win, but she was running this day.
She was, yes. I was against her this day. I had American Retro. I wasn't a huge fan of her. This is just nitpicking, but she's just kind of a. How about this? On the turf course, I gave her the X. On the Tapeta, I like her a lot more now.
Well, she's got a win on an all-weather surface over at Kempton. I think that's a big deal. I liked her more on turf, to be perfectly honest with you, but I'm not backing off. Well, I don't like any of these horses. I don't like Pawkey at all. I don't like Johanny was all out to win Breaker Maiden last time. Where did Pawkey's race come from? But we are on Tapeta, obviously, today.
That changes things.
But she's got good form on it. No win, but she has run well.
Yes. Yeah, that helps.
Yeah, I think I thought Pawkey was dressed up off the Delahaye race.
That's fair.
Because Delahaye just dragged him around the track, and it kind of came a little from nowhere. Johanny. Yeah, you're a little against Johanny as well. You've got her a little bit further down. How about the 1 Grace Darling, who comes out of that same race? She's going to run long now for the first time on Tapeta.
Yeah, I like that because just completely cross out the race of the 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. That was after a layoff, and now she's second start. I like this move.
No, I agree there as well. She's going to save ground down on the inside. Race 10 is on the Tapeta at 5.5. We're in an optional claimer here for the State Breds. We have a long shot scratch of the 2. Tripolanti is out of this race. Klugman, the 7, is as well. And the 10, Rockingham Joe, too. It's a good race. Your best bet of the day is my top pick, Heals the Soul. We can show you partial the reason why.
Yes, he was just so much the best this day. And there's the Kings kind of all here, but Heals the Soul really, I felt like, got the worst of it. He had so much horse here, and I think that he just thought that he was going to loop this and just run away, but that didn't happen.
No, and not only that, he raced about 2 times before this race, too, when he was being a very, very bad actor, and he wanted nothing to do with it. He was so much the best in this spot. I almost worry if it took a little out of him. We'll see, but it's Paco, and now we're back with Georgina Baxter, who's done good work with him in the past, so I don't have any worries about that as well. He is clearly going to be problems for this group in here. Did you move up, roll on Big Joe with the speed?
No, I had this horse always. Just first time gelding, and you look at the works on the Tapeta, they're strong, very strong, and I think that this is a horse trying something new for the first time that could play out well.
2 of the 3 horses that come out of this race did have speed. It's going to help roll on Joe quite a bit, who's got a ton of it, coming back as a first-time gelding as well. Commandant freaked off the claim last time.
Yeah.
I missed him. I think I had him at 8 on the line, and he won for fun like they knew he would at 9-5. He's tough right back because that was an optional claimer against open horses.
It was, yeah. It's 2 wins in a row he's put together, and wins, okay, not just narrow victories. He was running. So he could bring it right back, or we could see him nowhere. He's one of those you don't trust.
Yeah, and it's important to know, he looped him last time. He showed a ton of speed 2 back, so he doesn't need to
He's got options.
Exactly. It's a good tough race here. Let's wrap it up in race 11. Unfortunately, it's off the turf. This was a good one. It's going to stick together a little bit, though. Fillies and Mares 4 and up will go 1:70 on the Tapeta here. The 2 swoop to finish. The 4 American Retro, the 5 Speed Trap are out of this race, but we have some draw-ins. The 13 and 16 are out as well, but the 14 Moonray and the 15, and that's the big one now, is going to draw in. Joe Bravo will ride Solo Album, and you are on the 10, who I've got in my mix as well, and that is Kanisi, who's as loose as they want her to be now.
Yeah, big time. Where have you been? It doesn't bother me too much. Don't pay too much attention in that Saratoga race. If the Saratoga turf said it was good, I'm going to gamble that it was closer to soft.
Yeah.
I feel like that was just such a tough course to run on. If you look at the Monmouth turf course, that plays very fast. This horse showed good speed. This horse has got to be close.
Oh, yeah, I think she'll be more than that. She should be as loose as Paco wants her. Unproven on Tapeta, but it's a good start, and she's worked well for this return. She's got some class to her, too. I'm Next Door. Ocean Club had a nightmare trip last time, and she's going to be close as well. She had no chance. It was unfortunate. I don't know if she was best. Those are stakes caliber horses in front of her, but it was a good comeback. She's got a win here on the Tapeta as well, so they're going to know she's in here, too. And
2
then
for 2 on this Tapeta. That's, I mean, her only wins, obviously, she likes the Tapeta,
Yeah, I was hoping she'd run on turf at a little bit of a better price.
Right.
Loon Cry is, I don't want to call her the wild card because she's very good, but she's going to see a first turn for the first time, which is, I'm not sure what's going on there for her.
Yeah, that's interesting. Did you use her in your ticket too? Yeah, you did. You spread.
Yeah, I was spreading.
So, I am not sure what to get with her here. I don't know.
So the 15's another. I want to talk quickly about Solo Album. This is another one of those Cassie Woodbine horses with a world of stakes, talent up there, up north that's been running longer. Mark's brought a couple of them back. A couple of them have run well.
Yeah.
A couple of them not as well. I don't know. I just look at this and you're going 1.25 miles. You're going 1.125 miles. To me, just maybe a prep for. It's a grade 3 winner up at Woodbine.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's if they bet them, play them. But when you're in your horizontals already, I don't know what you're going to do. I mean, I would suggest putting the horse in. Do I trust her? Heck no. But could she run good? Yeah. It's a tough. Well, with the scratches, it works out a bit better. But still, I don't think it's an ideal post, and Joe Bravo's just going to have to go. Right.
She's 6 for 8 in the exacta on Tapeta. A couple of them were here at Gulfstream Park, but it looks to me she's been training up a storm. They're going to bet her, I would assume, unless they forget about her.
You say training up a storm, but only 2 works here locally. So she's not been here that long.
Yeah, they were on the Tapeta. Yeah. We'll see what we get today. She could win, but she's also, it's obvious if you look at her form, looking for bigger and better down the road. All right, let's take a quick look at the lightning round in here on this 11-race Saturday card. Beat the Expert is you. I think that means it's me next week. Oh,
yeah. You get to end the team playing here next week. But, yep, I'm up. If you know anything about Beat the Expert, you can sign up online, pick more winners than me online. It's $50 if you're here. Up to $500 on track. And if you know anything about Beat the Expert, we typically have our worst days here,
it's
so
tough.
You might be in luck.
You did a lot of adjusting today, though, so you are ready to roll.
We'll
that is
see.
for sure.
Yeah.
Crimson Advocate is coming back yesterday. Unfortunately, we're not going to see No Nay Nets today. Did I say yesterday?
Yep.
Tomorrow. Here she is winning the Royal Palm Fillies race.
Yeah, and then she ran very well against the boys in the sprint, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. In a tough post. She was awesome this day, and then she went up to Ascot to win, too.
Yep.
I don't know if you pay attention to weather. Obviously we're off the grass today, tomorrow. We don't know yet, so hopefully we get to see her, but if not, we'll see her down the road.
Absolutely, and the Coast to Coast is today as well here, and our sister track out at Santa Anita. You can see that there, 2 hour and 40-minute window. Couple races here.
Yep.
And 3 out there. Tropical Tapeta, pick 3 as well.
Yep, and includes the stake race. Kicks off in the stake race.
There you go.
15% takeout, $3 minimum.
Yeah. And then last but not least, best bet and long shot. What do you got going on your best bet?
Heals the soul for me.
All right. I like that one as well. On top for me, too. I am a little bit later on with my best bet. 5 towns off the turf in race 9, but I'll stick with her in your long shot today.
I don't have one.
You don't have
anymore.
one. Oh, that's right. You scratched out, unfortunately. I do have one.
Nice.
Kingdom on pause in race number 7. That's the 2. Pete Aiello is upstairs. He's going to walk you through the scratches and changes. We'll be back with Ron for the opener, Samantha all day as well. And don't forget, we're going to draw that Curlin Florida Derby, the race itself in between races 2 and 3, and the card in its entirety today. We're happy to have you aboard, and best of luck.